working with staying in the current moment, on the current day. And I'm finding it an interesting experience because normally you would say, oh, well, that's wonderful. But it's an interesting observation for me to find that when I do something like that, I have to sort of edit myself into really experiencing it the way I want it to do. Because all of a sudden I say, okay, I'm not going into the past. I'm going to start trying to be in the present. And as soon as I say I am not going to, my mind it gets ready to do what I said. Oh, that thought keeps coming. Oh, I'm thinking about it yesterday. I'm thinking about,
Oh, yeah.
and it's
It's hard to
almost,
stay in the present moment.
yeah, it's like I'm working to stay in the present moment. And when you work doing something, I'm realizing that that's part of the process of claiming the past. And that's when I realized, okay, working at this stuff consciously, I have to take a closer look of declaring something like that, because if I declare it in a consciousness of resisting the past or trying to make it go away, I am using a tool that perpetuates the past rather than helping me stay in the current moment.
Isn't it interesting that how easy it is to focus on some things and not on others? Because well, if you're playing games on your iPad, you're focused, you're in the present moment. But when you're just in your thoughts, they just kind of scatter. They go in the past and they go in the future. Your focus isn't on your present moment as a rule.
It's like, what if there is no past?
Mm-hmm.
What if there is no future?
Mhm.
What if we let that concept go and we go, whatever is in my consciousness right now is right now. So whether it actually happened yesterday or it won't happen for 5 years, if I'm thinking about it, it's in my consciousness right now. And I can do whatever I want to do with that. I can be at peace with it, or I can be at war with it, or I can try to understand it, or I can encapsulate it in something that I don't want to think about it, or I can do whatever I want with it, but it is right now. See, I find those things really valuable, the things that keep recurring, even though they happened in the past, because it's showing me some place that needs to be reconfigured in my consciousness.
The thing that I got out of what I did was that it's really significant to just let it be and stay in the present. So even though my mind was going back and forth and back and forth, and I was learning how to not resist the past, but to recognize the present.
Here's this idea of staying in the present, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's an idea, and there's 7 billion people on the planet.
Right.
And each one has their own idea of what that actually means, right? Their individual, unique idea. And what I love about always working with you is your idea is very frequently different than my idea. Your approach
The approach
to
is
this
different.
idea is different. And that's so valuable to me because it broadens my experience of this, this concept of staying in the present, or whatever it is, whatever the concept is. And that to hang with people who are intentionally wanting to explore these ideas in their own lives, and to be with people who are seeing that from their, and then being able to just let go of all of the attachment to my idea of what this is,
Right.
and just listen to what your experience is. It broadens me, and it opens my heart, to be more loving and more accepting of a different viewpoint. Not that it's the same thing. It's the same thing, and this happens
Different
over
approach.
and over and over
Yeah, I
again
know it.
for you and me particularly.
And it's beautiful in the sense that we're on our own path, and the significant thing is that there are, for as number of people that it is in existence, that's the number of paths that we can potentially have to the same truth. And it reminds me of the pyramid. whether you want to go with psychology and Maslow. You want to go with, I can't even remember the other guy that was talking about the spiritual path. There are many different spiritual paths, and that we all head for the same peak.
Or Ron
Ron
Holman,
Ron
right?
Holman. That we all may start here in different modalities, but we after the same concept.
So this is significant for me because in a couple weeks I'm going to go back and be with my family at a difficult time. You know, the memorial service for my father. So it's not a difficult time, but to know this, I'm revealing this on YouTube. I tend to
Call your mother, tell her this.
yeah. I tend to not see people, everybody, as being on a spiritual path. I tend to judge some people as being on a good path and some people as not being on a good path, or some people as being spiritually minded and other. In fact, everyone's going for the same. Like Ron says at University of Santa Monica, they say everyone graduates. Everyone graduates, and we all have our own little way to get to that place of graduation. We don't know what happens after that, but I tend to look at my siblings and say they're not on a spiritual path. You know, I don't give them enough credit in my own consciousness. And so it'll be really interesting to go really with a more open, more observant, what, instead of, I have this path and you don't, I have this path and what is yours, and just watch, not ask, not have, I don't want to have the conversation because I've tried to have the conversation, maybe it'll come up, but just observe, and give them the benefit of the doubt that they're on their own path and that they're going to graduate too, and just be observant. This is something that this group has really helped me with, in that what we were talking about, everybody has their own different view, and I get to just be here because I know we start in a place of heart connection. We start knowing, respecting each other, wondering about what each other's experience is, knowing that there's this fundamental baseline knowing that we are on a path. And that's what I want with my family.
And the picture of the pyramid, I think, is significant too, because if I've never been to the pyramids, pictures I've seen, that it's not straight up, that it comes like this.
Yeah.
So, I think you get to a level and you stay there a while, and then you go up a little and you stay there a while, and you go up a little and stay there a while. And, like you say, eventually we graduate. But